And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Irv Homer Show. It is Monday, December the 8th, 2008. My name is Irv Homer, and we are live in the studio here at www.irvhomer.com. And this program is a little different than the program I do on WBCB 1490 AM every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 2. And in our studio, we have our special guest, Pearl Polto, and we're going to talk about credit tonight and some of the crazy things that have happened. One which has happened to me today. Before we introduce Pearl, this is on our chat room, and if you have any questions about credit, the changes in the mortgage rates, and what the heck's going on, and Pearl will bring you up to date on the latest. It's from Bill in Feasterville, and Bill says, I spoke with you this afternoon at 1490 about the community center there to build here in Lower Southampton. I'm not certain of the site location, but in these hard times, a construction project like this will only raise our real estate taxes. Do you think the center is needed? Bill, as I said to you on the air this afternoon, I spoke with Connie Bahrain, who is one of the supervisors of Lower Southampton. Connie will come on the air with me on WBCB probably the beginning of next week and be able to take all of your questions as to the location, all the nuances of it, the architect's report, the ground acquisition, the no strike clauses in the construction, the cost of the taxpayers, whether it be a millage increase or not. So we can go into that on the radio station with someone who is an authority, namely the one of the supervisors of Lower Southampton. So my opinion of the center is not adequate because I've seen the center, I know the location, I've seen some of the figures, but all of the figures I'm not familiar with. So I think it would be prudent of me to have Connie Bahrain on, Bill. So you'll just bear with me till next week when Connie will appear on the Irv Homer Show on WBCB Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 1 o'clock. That being said, let me introduce you Pearl Polto once again. She is a lady of credit. She's the author of Credit Lifeline. She's written 5 books on credit. She knows credit. She knows the dangers, the pitfalls, what the trap is, what more. But today, Pearl, first of all, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
With the events changing as fast as they are, this lady is running ragged, mentally, physically, trying to answer questions and trying to keep up with what is going on. Before we go any further, what the hell did I receive in the mail today?
Amazing.
What did I get, Pearl Polto?
What Irv got today, and I've been saying this for years and did some shows on this in the past, but this is a credit card. I always said, when you're applying for a credit card, they normally send you an application that says you're pre-approved. But the purpose of the pre-approved is they want your social security number so they can pull a copy of your credit report, and then you may get a denial letter. What Irv got today, is definitely against the law. What they did is they actually sent him that credit card. Now, the reason why it's against the law is there's no contracts here. Somebody could have broken into Irv's office and stole this card, called the company up to activate it, and then went on a shopping spree. Now, what they did here was reckless. They should not have done this. And just because they say it's from your home, what we're going to do tonight, we're going to try to call this company to see what they say, how easy it is to activate it, because you could always call up to say, okay, close it. But right now, this is what some are doing. Now, if you receive this card, you may think, oh, this is great. I love this. I got an extra credit card, but it's only a danger to you getting something like this in the mail. And you didn't sign it. There's no contracts that you signed, so they can't even hold you liable. They're going to say, well, as long as you charge it, you're liable, but you didn't sign nothing. And under legal contracts of credit laws, you didn't sign anything. There's so much to learn about credit. And what we did on the last show was talk about credit rights, credit, mortgages. Now's the time is to try to help the people out there get out of debt, not into debt. And this is above and beyond the call of duty. So what you've got here, if somebody came in here and stole this card, it's not that you'd be in trouble, but they could have went on a shopping spree. Even to myself, if I called from this number in here and then left and went to every store and charged this, you would have been getting billed for it, not me.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is the total of what they sent me, with this thing sticking to it, with all of the privacy acts and the things that are required to by government to send. But this card can be activated. It already has the holograph on it. It has where you're supposed to sign your signature. Any because these things never check the signature. You put them right through. I mean, I signed Ronald Reagan on one of my credit cards.
They didn't even know.
Nah,
They
it went
didn't even
through.
know.
I signed on my checks that went through, so Ronald's got a couple bucks with his account. So this is an actual credit card, ladies and gentlemen. Legitimate. I can use it. Call this number, activate it. They don't know who's calling.
And he didn't apply for it.
And I didn't apply for
He didn't
this
apply
thing.
for it.
And there is no contract to it. So it's totally, we'll get into this a little later in the program. We have a telephone because I think it's more important right now to answer questions from our viewers and our listeners. Our telephone, what's the number? Once again, if you have a problem with credit, or you want to know about your mortgage, or whether you can restructure anything at all, Pearl can give you an answer. If not, she'll get you one. Our telephone number, 215-253-8877, 215-253-8877. And this is Ken from Wilmington, Pearl, so you can take the question.
Let's see. Recently, my wife and I applied for a loan to pay off a credit card debt. We were approved for the loan. However, the loan officer wants us to close several lines of our credit. With the economy the way it is and not knowing how credit will be in the future, I'm not sure if I want to go through this now and I have to close these lines of credit. Your thoughts? Well, I don't just have thoughts. I have suggestions right now. First of all, this happened a long time ago with a person that I wrote in my book, in my third book. Credit cards are unsecure, just like this. What he received in the mail today are unsecure. Unsecure means they cannot touch it. They cannot. It's like a casino chip. But if you apply for a loan from your bank to pay off these credit cards, the loan from the bank is most likely approved, and it's secured by your property, secured by something else, and your signature. So that's a little bit scary. So why would you want to pay off one which is unsecure and put something secure to make your mind at ease? Me personally, I'd want to have no personal loans and have everything under my credit cards, because the credit cards are unsecure and they cannot touch you. They can't touch your bank. Depending on the state, they can't go after your job. They can't go after your payroll. So to have peace of mind, it's learning credit, knowing the credit rights, keep the credit cards, try to negotiate. Try to call up the credit card companies to say, you know what, we're in a credit crunch, lower my interest rate to 0% or I'm going to change it over. If you can get a personal loan, you can call up another credit card company to say, I want to transfer these into zero balance for 6 months. And that could happen. If your bank doesn't want to do it anyway. Go to another bank and transfer the funds to 0%. Because of this credit crunch, they will do it. If they don't do it, it's on them. That bank will go under eventually.
Okay, Ken from Wilmington. We have another question on our chat room there, Pearl, and it's for you. Don't mention the last name of the
No, I won't,
person.
but it says, my name is
Ron.
Ron from Delaware. I'm a client of Pearl's. Thank you. Hi, Ron. She has done wonders for me. I've referred 8 people to Pearl, and they all love her. And I will tell everyone with credit or mortgage problems to totally confide in Pearl and her company. Thank you, Ron. I can't thank you enough. And this was not put up. I didn't know Ron was going to be contacting me, but he is so right. They call me the miracle worker. It's not that I perform miracles, but I'm trying to help a lot of people. My phone should be ringing off the hotline right now, and it should be, but it's not. But it should be, because right now we have a credit crunch, we have a mortgage problem in our country, and I can resolve both. And right now, I can make your Christmas the way it's supposed to be, as I did for Ron, whatever. But the thing is, it should happen now. Could be giving you a really good Christmas this year when it comes to your finances.
And Pearl's number is 1-800-876-CREDIT. 1-800-876-CRED. And you can call that number. She will get back to you as soon as she gets off the program, probably. Once again, let me reintroduce the question of the night. I received in the mail today, just by coincidence, and I know there's a friend of mine who doesn't believe in coincidence, a legitimate, real credit card. This is not one of those cardboard ones that you're supposed to activate and tear up.
Yes.
This is a legitimate, real credit card. I never solicited. I don't know who this company is. I never had a Citibank. It's City, isn't it, Pearl? Is that City?
That's it.
Right.
That's it.
It's a credit card. All I have to do is call this number and activate it, and I got credit. I never signed a contract with them. There's nothing here for me to even sign in return.
I would strongly suggest that you contact the company and you say to them, why did you mail me a credit card without you actually applying for this credit card, and ask for customer service, see what they have to say, and tell them you had a lot of people coming in here that could have stolen this and used your telephone. You know, so why are they doing this? Why are they the credit crunch so bad that the banks are going to go under by giving credit out to people with good credit? This is what I said the last show. People with good credit's going to have bad credit for things like this.
Let me ask you something, Pearl. When the casinos first opened in Atlantic City, I received a $50,000 line of credit from one of the casinos.
Okay.
Never solicited, never asked for it. I don't even recall whether I went there or not, to tell you the truth. Maybe I did because, you know, I can't, that I can't. So I'd rather not, you know, make a commitment that I did not. Anyway, I got this line of credit for $50,000, which at that time, was it 26 years ago, the casinos opened in
Yeah,
City?
around there.
Anyway, I said, what is this? Now, I don't like, you want to gamble, lose it, it's fine. I couldn't care less. I mean, that's it.
But they gave you
But
50,000.
they gave me 50,000. That they told me. So I called their credit bureau. I said, first of all, where did you get my name? Second of all, how do you know I'm good for $50,000?
They did homework on you. They did
He
their
said,
homework.
and the guy said, Irv, he said, it's our business to know your business. Now, would that have been an unsecured loan if you take a
Of
line
course.
of credit from the
Of course.
casino?
Of course.
You don't
because
have to pay the casino back?
Well, yes, you have to pay the casino back, but how many people do pay the casino back because they're trusting the people? They're doing homework on you to see who you are, your social security number, they get it somehow. It's just like when you're in a casino when you put your card in. They
Right.
know who you are. They know
Yeah,
where
they
you're
track
sitting
you,
and everything
yeah.
else. They track you. Well, the same with credit. They track you every little step you make, so they knew who you were. And by the time that they're giving you, here's Irv, here's $100,000 in credit. But if you walked out of there and lost $100,000 and didn't pay them back, well, sure, they would hire a bill collector to come after you. But it's all insecure because you didn't sign any contracts with them. I'm not telling anybody to do this,
Good.
but the thing is, legally, you didn't sign no contracts
So
with
why
them.
the hell did Leonard Toast get nailed the way he got nailed? That's what I asked his attorney when he was in the studio with me. What
He-
did Leonard Toast sign? He was drunk half the time.
You know, here's the problem that people have, and it's lack of credit knowledge. And let me repeat it. And when you mentioned Leonard Toast, I did have there's a Privacy Act out there, and I can't
Yeah.
go into it with him, but I do have his family as clients. But the problem with him is he took out all this credit. The problem he had is, I hate to say it again, he went to an attorney, and the attorney made it into a legal matter. And credit laws, I'm a paralegal, but it has nothing to do with credit laws. Credit laws are found in Congress, not in law school, and that's why I studied law. But the attorneys only know bankruptcy laws and how to settle it in different ways. And this is where they advised him on this. They want the legal route and not the credit route. If you go to the credit route, you'll win.
Right.
You'll win under the credit laws. If you go on the legal work, they're going to win because you're going under the court system again. So you have to understand which is the best for you.
Pearl Polto was our special guest. Once again, her toll-free number, if you have a credit problem, 1-800-876-CRED. 1-800-876-CRED. Yes, there is a fee, but two things will happen. Number one, your problem will be resolved, and number two, you'll be able to go to sleep. Let's go to Howard from Drexel Hill on the phone. Howard, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be.
You know, I had somebody ask me yesterday after I finished talking to him. He said, how do you sleep at night? And I thought about it, and I said, well, I sleep pretty good, but I know too much. Pearl, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
I learned something. Well, let me make a statement. I learned something a couple of weeks ago that I didn't fully understand. And it was watching a video on YouTube, and it was about the Federal Reserve and about money. And what I never understood in all these years, I knew that they made the money out of thin air. And what I never understood was that how much money they make out of thin air. In other words, when a bank or the government wants to put money into the economy, they call up the Federal Reserve, they give the Federal Reserve a note, the Federal Reserve puts $1 into the economy. It gets deposited into a bank. The bank then lends it to 8 more people, keeps the dollar in their safe or whatever it is. Those 8 people take the $1 that they all borrowed, put it into their bank. Their bank then lends out another $8 for every dollar that those 8 people put in, and it goes exponentially up the ladder, and you've got $1, which essentially is backed by nothing, that creates probably thousands and thousands of dollars. Now multiply that by our economy, and what I come to is our economy is a farce. Here's my question for you. When the credit card company that sent Irv the credit card, is that a bank card, by the way?
Yes.
Is that one of the major banks in Tennessee?
Yes. Yes.
It's city.
So they're part of the Federal Reserve. They're creating money out of nothing. When whatever credit line they've given Irv, what really did they given him? Did they ever take any money out of an account and say, we're putting this into Irv's account, or we're going to put this to Irv's chip? So where they had given us something. In other words, where's the consideration from the credit card company for Irv's signature, or Irv, of course, when you use the card, you're going to acquiesce and you're going to admit to whatever contract they've got for you as soon as you use it. But what is the consideration that the credit card company has given Irv? Because they're not giving him any money, they're giving him nothing. They're taking numbers on an account and saying, we're going to let him use up this amount of numbers, which essentially is backed by nothing, means nothing, and I don't think that legally they've given him a dime.
Well, you're missing a point, though. You're missing a point is how did they get to give him this card? How did they get his name? How did they transfer all this when he didn't authorize nothing? And this is where the telemarketing with the credit bureaus come in at, with this high score, credit score, and the credit bureaus are giving out these banks to give out these people these credit cards and to make it tempting. This is a casino chip in my eyes. They're giving it to him by saying, I did my homework. The credit bureaus are saying to Citibank, hey, here's a great catch. You're right. They didn't give him anything until he picks up that phone and activates it. Once they activate it, well, then Citibank figures he's either going to pay me, and if he doesn't pay me, I can charge it off and either go under if they have a lot of charge-offs. But either way, Citibank will win because they're in a credit crunch too. A lot of the banks are going under because of this, and a lot of the banks are going under because people are charging this, especially for the holidays. The holidays is a dangerous thing when it comes to credit cards because they're all going to take chances on people like you or Irv. The debt collectors are going to.
I don't think they're taking chances. Let me tell you why. Because I think you just cracked the code, but I'm not sure that you know how you cracked the code. Let me tell you. When the credit card companies say to Irv, we're going to give you a $20,000 credit limit, and Irv goes out tomorrow, and if he's smart, he'll take that credit card. And he'll go out and he'll buy Chinese yuan with it, and he'll stick it in his safe or under his mattress, and when the dollar goes to crap, he'll be full of yuan, and he'll be rich. Now, the credit card company's going to turn around and say, well, we've got an unsecured loan, and then they're going to collateralize that bad loan, and they're going to wipe it off their books, and they're going to go and they're going to lend the money again, and they're going to write it off of their taxes and write it off of their income.
Yes, it's called a charge-off.
And that's right. It's called a charge-off, but it's really called a rip-off is what it's called.
Well, yes.
But this is how they get everybody.
Yes, it's a rip-off, but it's called a charge-off. If you look at ever seen a credit report, that I see them every day, profit and loss charge-off, profit and loss charge-off. But you have to remember, half of these banks that I dealt with in 1987 are under. They're no longer in business because you can only charge off so many accounts before the bank goes under. You have to remember this too. Now, this bank is hurting. For this bank to do what they're doing now, he's only one. I always say if they send out one, they send out hundreds of thousands. But they're hurting to give the credit to anyone. And it's not that Irv will not accept it, but the average person will accept it because it's around the holidays and they're going to call up to say, wow, we just got another few $1,000s for Christmas gifts. And the banks know this. So what you're saying is right. You're one person that could figure this out, and you're one person out of hundreds that can't to say, you know what, we don't know how to stop this. And I am frustrated because I've been doing this from in the 80s.
But
and
this
I'm
generates
frustrated.
more. This kind of stuff generates more business for you.
It generates. You see,
I understand what you're saying.
I'm an irascible Jew, but I'm going to go out and buy Christmas trees from China.
No.
I want those money trees that are growing yuan.
Well, you know what? I hate to say it.
Money is.
I hate to say it, but before this took place, I told him what to do, what I would have done, and really screw the banks. But the thing is, you have to do what's right. They're doing what's wrong, and we have to learn to correct it. Enough is enough. It's getting worse.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. But Americans have been getting the short end of this stick. Americans have been getting pounded
Yes.
like Abner Louima with the plunger up in New York. Americans have been getting the short end of the stick, and the banks have been ripping everybody off.
But you
Now,
can't
what's the first thing that these-
You can't do what's
Go ahead.
wrong. You can't do, even though I know, and believe me, I know. I have 5 books on it. And the banks are really screwing the people big time. The government is screwing the people big time. But it doesn't make, 2 wrongs don't make a right. In other words, it doesn't say what you're going to do is the right way.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
No, Howard, we've gone long enough. We have other callers and other viewers. Thanks so much, babe.
Thank you, Bill.
He's always an interesting call,
All
Howard
right.
is. Thank you, sir. Our telephone number is 215-253-8877. Let's go to the website, or the chat room. Pearl?
I received a card from Bank America. I think it's Bank America. BOA.
Oh, no, this...
Oh, okay. I have a friend who borrowed around $75,000 against the settlement, and they are being told they're going to owe back $150,000 when the loan is paid up. 3 years. Is this legal? Are you the right person to refer this person to? Well, if you borrowed $55,700 against the settlement, I don't understand where the settlement you're talking about. Was it a bank? Was it a loan settlement? Was it a lawsuit settlement? And now they're being told they're going to owe back $150,000. This sounds like it's all interest. I'm going to suggest, yes, you have to do something. You just can't sit back. It doesn't sound right. It either sounds like they overcharged you. You're one of the people that has to call me at my toll-free number to go into a little bit deeper to find out what they're doing, and don't pay back unless you don't have to. I need to know more information on this.
These are always one of the questions, Pearl, that I received in my broadcast career. And then you start searching and said, okay, let's sit down. Well, I forgot to tell you, my uncle and my aunt, well, he beat my cousin, and my cousin is my relative. And then, well, it's really not 57,000, it was 30,000. So these are third person, and it's, you might as well.
This more sounds like a mortgage here,
Right,
57 and no.
Well, it could be a settlement.
But I'd like to know more in detail.
It could have been an advance on,
Yes.
on a settlement of an estate, which I've seen, where attorneys have loaned money.
Well, then it's the
on
interest. That
foreclosure
interest is
estate.
pretty high if they
But
have to
that's
pay
what-
back
And the other
150.
thing is, you never know what they sign. I mean,
Yes,
if you
exactly,
sign something and said we
exactly.
to pay 2 for 1 or 3 for 1.
Let me tell you, as a consumer advocate and not as a credit expert, I would like for you to call me at my toll-free number, and I'd like to see this contract because there's something not kosher here somewhere along the line. But I'd like to see this before you make a mistake and pay somebody back that you don't have to.
Let's go to the next on our chat room from Sal from Langhorne.
I received a card from VOA yesterday. I never asked for it. Well, same as here. You never asked for it? Well, it's going to be up to you.
I got one from City, Sal.
You have 2 choices. You have 2 choices. I'm going to tell you what my choice is. You have 2 choices. Well, 10 years ago, my choice was to call them back or not to do nothing and tear it up. Not today because of this credit crunch. You have 2 choices. You can either call them up, activate it, and get another credit if you need it. Or you can call them up by saying, what you did, I don't like what you did. You're putting me in a situation of 50,000 more people. You're giving me credit that I cannot afford. And you're putting me in a position, and I didn't sign no contracts. Well, they're going to say to you by the time you purchase the first item, that's going to be our contract. That's what they're going to say to you. But then you could say back to them, first of all, anybody could have walked in my house. The mailman could have dropped this off with anybody. Anybody could have activated. So you can't say that. Legally, you're in the right, they're in the wrong. And you could defend yourself legally under credit rights. So this is why people has to understand, it is so important. For 25 years, I've been doing this, and I know every trick in the book that they're doing. I found a letter yesterday that I wrote to the Inquirer from 1989, and it said, by the time 1990 comes here, we're going to be in a depression if the banks continue to deal with what they're doing, if the mortgage company's doing it. And this letter I saved, that there will be a depression in 1990 from what everybody, and it's happening today. Everything I predicted, because I could see, this is the bank that I wrote to in 1990, and I asked them to safeguard themselves by putting pictures on credit cards. They said they couldn't do it. It would cost them millions of dollars. And yet, look what they're doing. They're sending out free credit cards to people.
Thank you, Sal. So you and I, Sal, you got one from BOA and I got one from City. What is on this holograph that's on here, Pearl? What do you think's on that holograph?
Well,
Looks like a map of the world.
that I couldn't tell you about. That's really nothing. The main part is right here. The number,
The
the
number.
expiration, and your name on it. This is and call now from your home phone to confirm that you received this card. Well, anybody. I mean, I'm curious to see if you would call here tonight to say, "Hey, I'm the repairman. I'm calling from this number. Is this activating the card?" That's all you would have to say and see what their answer is. Interesting.
Well, why don't we do it?
Let's do it.
Okay, hang on, America. We will call
Let's
this.
see how easy it is for a bank to send you a credit card. What happens? Now, he's not calling from his home number. He's calling from his cell phone. But let's see what they asked him, if it's activated that easy without a contract, and and how fast he could use this credit cards. You have to know more than the banks. As I said, my phone number, 1-800-876-CREDIT, should be off the wall ringing between the credit rights, between the credit crunch. Let me help you with your credit. Let me get it back. And the mortgages. Like right now, this breaking news that I was on last week. Anybody's losing their home, high interest rates, call me. Because this week it's down to 5 to 4%. No refinances. And we can really help you out here and save your home for you. I mean, there's so much I can do right now.
No, I don't want. I want to speak to a real person. They want me to activate by giving these numbers.
Is this a real person you're
No,
talking
no.
to?
Say, I want to talk to a real person, please.
Ron, can this be speakerized or no?
A cell phone can.
Your response was
Oh.
not understood. To activate your new card, please touch, tone, or speak to 16. I don't want to do it. I want to speak to a real person.
No, that okay. You can activate. You could say, I'll give you the number, but I'm not going to give you my phone number. I will give you the credit card number. So let's see how quick
Okay.
it could be activated.
Right.
Because you could always close it.
5179-4000-10239768.
I'm to say it on the air.
Everybody can know about it. Oh, you're gonna. Yours is too. Yours is being monitored and recorded too. So
Calls are being monitored. That's what gets me. All your calls are being monitored. We can't put this.
well, I
on
just
speaker.
gave the number out. Rob, why did I get a card with no contract to be activated? I didn't request this card. Your system was not able to capture it. You want the number again? Should I give it to him?
No.
No. Well, no. What I want to know really is, this is a regular card with 16 numbers, mailed to me with no contract for me to sign. I just take this call, you people, verify it, and I got credit, right? Hello? No. No. I don't have a Citibank account. I just got the call. Pardon? Yes. It's good till 12:10.
No, give me the call. I'll give me. I'm gonna
Never
save your
applied
secret.
for one.
I'm going to save your
Hold
secret.
on a minute, please.
Hello? Hello?
It's Rob.
Yes, okay. You're talking to Pearl Polto. I'm a consumer advocate. I'm a little bit confused here because I'm over his place. He shows me this credit card. It says activated. He never applied for it. He doesn't even know what it is. And this is my biggest stink, that banks like yours, especially big banks like yours, are sending out credit cards without any authorization, without any contracts. And anybody could come in his place, call from his phone number like a repairman, and go out and go on a spending spree. And why is the bank allowing this to happen?
I'm going to sue them.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. He didn't apply for anything. He's a senior citizen right now. And the thing is, a repairman, 5 repairmen were inside here today that could have picked up this card and used his phone. You see, but you're not getting it, because he has excellent credit, but he could have had bad credit because somebody would have went on a spending spree for this Christmas holiday. I want to know, my question is, why are banks allowed to do this? And I know they're not allowed to do this, so why did one slip in the force? Well, if you're going to get back to me, you'd have to get back to me in a period of a second, because, I mean, obviously you don't have the answer then. You don't have a supervisor there that I can speak to? I will give him the phone. He will hold on for your supervisor. Unbelievable. This
Okay,
is
we're
what
waiting. We're waiting for the supervisor.
this is what to avoid. As he's holding on for the supervisor, this is what to
2 to 1 we
avoid.
get hung up on.
Maybe
This is live, ladies and gentlemen. This is live,
This-
and it just happened today. My guest is Pearl Polto. We're going to find out why this credit card company sent me a credit card with a credit limit, and I didn't apply for it. There's no contract here. Just says call the number, give us your information, and use the card.
And
So-
he has no answer. The
And-
customer service has no answer. And you know why they have no answer? Is because they're expecting people like you to use the card. It's the holidays, and then you're going to go into debt. And if you're into debt and you cannot afford it, guess what? You're going to be needing my service at the end to get you out of debt and correct this with all the systems that the system's doing foul play. And this
Yes.
is wrong.
He's back.
Right. Who's the account manager? Hello.
If anybody, I see.
Hi, Mr. Donahue. Can you hold on a moment, please? This is
Yes, this is the supervisor. I don't. I hope it is monitored because I hope it teaches all your employees at your bank that this shouldn't happen. What's happening is, Irfhoma received a credit card in the mail that he did not apply for. He has no contract, and all these salespeople and repairmen were in his place today. They could have picked up this phone and called up your bank to activate it from his phone. He's a. Well, I can't. I'm not going to say the account number right now because we are. But the problem is how many people do you send this out to? And when you say, okay, you say you want us to see the account. I'm going to get the phone over to him so he can give you the account as I'm talking. So this way, then you can give me some answers. Okay?
Want me to kill the audio for that?
Yeah.
Yes, kill the audio. Clarity.
Now this is what you have to
Yes.
avoid, and this is what you should be doing as a consumer to get out of debt. Is not to accept these cards when it just send out
No,
to
it
you without
doesn't
a
say
contract.
anything about my, because if I give you my social security number, we're not entering into a contract. Why would you want my social security number? You sent
No,
me,
no, no, no,
you
no.
sent, no. You sent me a card that says all I have to do is call this number and activate it. It doesn't say anything that you need my social security number. There's nothing there's nothing you received here, no information on this thing that you sent to me that requires me to give you my social security number. You sent me a credit card. If I call this number, it will activate it to the tune of $5,000, and the cash advance limit is $1,500, and my account number is on here, but there's nothing that says about my social, no. This is your business. I didn't ask for this credit card. No, I want to help you out because what you did, in my opinion, is illegal. Hold on, please.
No. You got a different department here right now. First of all, how many departments are you going to transfer? Now, I'm hearing. I'm at what? First of all, just first of all, why would you ask him for your social? I know why you're asking him for the social security number. Well, wait a minute. If you're security, well then how would you know to mail him the card? Isn't that enough unsecurity if somebody was in here looking at the card? Now, if he gave you,
Pearl. Just Pearl.
you know what? You just transferred to 5 people and you're hanging up again because you don't have the answers. You know, wait a minute, sir. I am just helping your bank out because hold on for another guy. There are words. This is what you don't do. This is what you don't do, and this is how you put your creditor, bill collector, or whoever into a corner because you know your rights. They don't. Now he doesn't know his rights. He's putting you into another third party or fourth party. And when they ask for a social security number, don't give it, because all they're doing is giving you the authorization to pull another copy of your credit report, which you don't want. All this he has to go through because they mailed him a bogus card, and it's not even a bogus card, it's a real card. But they don't know their way out of it right now because there's no contract. So where I got him in a corner was anybody could have been in this house picking up this card, activating it, and going on a shopping spree, and they could do it to you as well. And as an advocate, I did a show on this years ago in New York, not to tear it up, give it back to the company. And I thought they did away with this because of the credit crunch. And obviously, because of the credit crunch, some banks are getting a little bit hostile where they're giving their credit out to good people. And if you remember, if you watched this last month, I said even good credit people were having credit problems now, and this is one of the reasons why. If you have, he's on hold.
I don't even like the music they're playing, folks. How about a little Chubby
Wait a minute.
Checkers?
Okay, I'm going to read another question here, and I'm going to answer it as he's waiting.
I think this is a blowout. I don't think they have any intention.
I don't. They have no answers here,
No
and I already
answers.
know it. You
Well,
can hang
thank you
up.
very much, and Merry Christmas. So there you go, folks. That's the con job by Citibank to try to pull it on me. They want my Social Security number, and there's nothing here, Pearl. There's nothing here that says to activate this card, I have to give them my Social Security number.
Because to pull a copy of your credit report, and they're saying is for you to show who you are.
Sure.
Well, then you could have said, well, no, I work for the utility company.
And I stole it.
And I stole it. Now what? So this is it's things like this and shows like this maybe to wise the people out up there. You have to be in control. Don't feel because you have a credit problem that, don't be intimidated, because you see the banks can be intimidated too. But here's the question. I had to go to the emergency room in August. Got a bill from them for $885. I never was informed that there was a fee. My health insurance didn't pay for it. Can I fight this? Of course you can. Here's what the process is going to take. First, you write a letter. You write a letter to the healthcare center, and you say, wasn't expecting this. You didn't tell me I was going to be billed, and I'm taking this further. I'm disputing this under the Fair Credit Billing Act. Now, at the same time, what they're going to do is they're going to turn this over to a bill collector. Well, the bill collector is the one you're not going to pay, but they're going to turn this over to a bill collector to harass you for this $885. That could be stopped too. You send them a cease communication letter, cease all communications. I do not owe this. Investigate it with your doctor, your hospital, or whatever. I am not paying this because no one told me about this. They didn't give me a bill. Do not pay it, because the time you would come to me as a client, it could be after the fact. When I mean is after the fact, you would call me up to say, you would see me on radio, TV, whatever, and you would say, I just paid a bill collector $885, and now I'm hearing you saying, I don't pay a bill collector. I already paid him. Can I get my money back? No. You can't get it back after the bill collector made out. So what I'm going to suggest is write to the healthcare center and saying you never authorized this, you never got a bill, and you want to see what you were billed for, and your health care didn't pay for it. You want to do all the facts, put them in a corner. You have more rights, believe it or not, under credit laws than you realize. I can't stress this enough to people. Now the holidays are here. The bill collectors have a deadline. The deadline is December 31st. They have to use every technique in the book to harass you, to meet their quota. If they don't meet their quota, they could get fired. But you're going to make them meet their quota if you get intimidated or scared. I write cease communications letters. We have a consumer protection that sues bill collectors, and then as I'm correcting the credit. And then the next question, I could hear it, is this going to be on my credit report? Well, if it is, it could easily be disputed and removed. So you're in a win-win situation if you know your rights. And if you'll know your rights by backing people into a corner, you know more than he does. And this is a good example, because here could be the president of the company or of the bank, and Irv knew more than this guy. He had to keep on transferring everybody because he's only an employee that works for this bank, doesn't know his credit rights, doesn't know credit laws. So Irv knows more than he does, and he knew what to say to them. So that was a perfect image today on what happened.
And what a coincidence. Let's go to Jim on the phone. Jim, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. You're on the air with Pearl Polto.
Good evening, Irv. I find this whole thing so absolutely incredible. Wasn't Citibank one of the banks that I think that the government's going to bail out
Yes.
to the tune of a couple $1 billion?
Well, wonder why.
Yeah, because of all this stupidity that they're sending out. I mean, I hope that this is that other people are watching this.
Oh,
you know,
boy.
if somebody's unscrupulous and all that, all they have to do is get a card or turn the card over to their friend. Then their friend can go out and charge, and the guy can call up and say, "I never authorized it. I'm not going to pay a fee."
Well, we were just saying that before the show, but this is how, this is how uneducated the banks are. So if you think you're uneducated, no, the people are wising up. They're wake up America. They're waking up. Enough is enough. We can't take it no more. And this is how it's going to happen. We're going to turn over this system to make it do the right thing. I mean, this is easy. We could have done a lot of things with this card, and Irv could have done a lot of things with this card. But we got to let the people know, you're in the right, they're in the wrong. And what they did, they couldn't even answer him. They're passing the buck.
I know that.
And-
I know that.
And the danger of this thing is, Jim Pearl and viewers and listeners, the danger is that with the Christmas rush and the extra mail help that they have, not only on the street but in the post office itself, this thing is a piece of dynamite, as probably thousands of them are in the mail. And I'm not saying that the postal employees are dishonest.
Or
not
the
saying,
telephone company that has your number.
or anybody who has to. But this is a lethal weapon for credit theft, for identity
Yes,
theft,
yes.
for people going and then trying to get this thing straightened out, which would be a total and complete nightmare.
Because they don't have the answers for you.
Right.
Well, see, what happened to me is I now have a P.O. box because mail was stolen out of my mailbox. I went to the post office and they said, well, we don't know who did it. You can't prove who did it.
Right.
So I said, well, in that case, send me a P.O. box. But in this case, if a credit card came like that, attached to an envelope like that, people were having trouble, and say the post office clerk accidentally dropped it off in the mailbox, anybody could have lifted it out of the mailbox, called the number and say, I'm so-and-so, and walked off with it, charged somebody's name on that, and you as the person that was issued to would have no record that was even charged against your name.
10 years ago, we did a show on national television. We applied for 2 applications, the owner and a dog. The dog received the credit card, the owner didn't. And that was 10 years ago. So look at this picture. 10 years ago, the dog received the credit card with false information. The owner, who was being accurate, got turned down because of a credit problem. But look what the system was doing. I predicted this. in 1988, what was going to happen with this credit crunch. I have the answers. I still have the answers. I'm still trying to give it to Congress, the president-elect, and everything else. They do not want to know. So instead of fighting the system, as I have been doing through the years, now I decided to educate the people and give the people back their rights. And this is what I'm doing, not just with the credit, getting your credit back in order, but also now with this new government thing with the mortgages. And that you have to be aware of too. There's a new government program out there, and a lot of people are coming out of the woodwork, so you have to watch. So I'm telling you, call my toll-free number, 1-800-876-CREDIT, C-R-E-D. If you feel something is wrong, if you feel that somebody is ripping you off, it doesn't have to be. I'm still a consumer advocate. Call me, let me know. I will do some homework and investigate it.
1-800-876-CRED.
If this thing keeps snowballing like this, we're never going to get out of the credit mess that we're in.
No, we will.
I mean,
Believe me, we will, because the word will spread sooner enough, and the people will have more rights than the system or the banks or the employees of these banks that think they don't know anything. And the bill collectors, they'll get fired because they won't meet their quota. As long as I'm going to tell anybody, there is a quota, December 31st, do not pay the bill collectors. If you owe a bill collector, do not pay them. No matter how scary you think it is, call me instead, because we will stop them. Because right now they need that money or they will get fired by the end of the month, and that's December.
Thank you so much, Jim. Let's go.
Thank you. You guys got a great program. Keep up the good work.
Thanks so much, my friend. Tell your friends about it. Our next question, Pearl, is I received a parking ticket from a law firm that I owe 180. Well, they got lawyers giving out parking tickets now? These parking tickets were from 2001 and 2002. Do I have to pay this ticket?
Well, you just said the clear word. The clear word is 2001. Normally, yes, you have to pay parking tickets, but not from a law firm, and not $180. You know that's all interest. And these parking tickets from 2001, I could assure you it's not even on. I'm going to suggest to you first, You have to receive a copy of your credit report to see if it's on your report. I'm going to say it's not on there. So I would say hold on to that, and the intimidation of what they're sending you, I'm going to say mail me that bill. I say it all the time, mail me the bills, and here's why. There could be one violation that's against the Fair Debt Collection Act that they're in trouble. And as of 6 years ago, attorneys also have to go by the Fair Debt Collection Act as the bill collectors do, because they were doing many things illegal as well. So the person that received this parking ticket, I don't believe it's a parking ticket. I think it's a collection letter about a parking ticket. That's from a law firm. I'm going to suggest you make a copy of it, send it to me, call up my toll-free number, I'll give you the address, let me look it over. If there's a lawsuit case there, you'll have a free lawsuit case against this law firm at the same time against the Fair Debt Collection Act.
And sometimes there is a statute of limitations on parking tickets.
Not
I don't know whether-
2001, that's 9 years ago.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something fishy there.
It's a bill collector.
But
It's a
there
bill
was-
collector.
Well, do you remember the guy that went to jail in
Yep.
Philadelphia?
Yes.
And Nick, I forget. He was a buddy of mine. We used to drink together, and he sent out. That's another story. Our next question on the chat room. Once again, our telephone number 215-253-8877. Pearl Polto is our guest. A super lady, a super gal when it comes to knowing credit cards, knowing your rights. She's not against credit. Let me get that perfectly straight.
Sky's the
She's
limit
not
when it comes to
against
credit.
She's against the fact that most consumers do not get a fair shake from the credit card companies. And what she wants to do is educate you, the public, on how credit cards work and how credit works. Once again, her toll-free number is 1-800-876-CRED. 1-800-876-CRED. And now let's go back to the telephones, or to the chat room rather. And Pearl, this question is for you, of course.
If credit card companies charge off the unpaid balances, how can they legally sell off your account and private information to a bill collector if you didn't sign any contracts with the bill collector? Some pretend to be attorneys. You know, I've been doing this for years. I help people with their credit problems. So you understand how the system works, how they can turn it over. You owe a bill, and you owe a creditor. The creditor wants to get paid naturally, and everybody's morally and legally obligated to pay a bill, but things happen. So the credit card company cannot get money from you. So what they do is they go to their accounting and saying, he cannot pay me this bill. So the accounting says, write it off as a charge-off. Now, it's the bill collector that comes over and says, can I buy this account? Sure, take it, I got paid. Now, it's the bill collector harassing you, and yes, you are right. You did not sign any contracts. Technicality again, you did not sign any contracts with the bill collector, with the creditor, but the creditor cannot take your money anymore. So it's the bill collector harassing you, and this is how people get scared. There's only 6,000 bill collectors in our country. It's up to you to stop paying them to put them out of business, but some people out there are so scared they do pay them anything to get them off your back. And this is the wrong thing. So you were so right. You did not sign any contracts with the bill collectors. And do some pretend to be attorneys? Here's what they say. I'm from the law office of. They're not, what you say to them is, are you an attorney? Like I received many calls from law firms. They're not law firms though. They're bill collectors for my clients. They'll say, even today, I'm from the law office of so-and-so, so-and-so, ABC. Are you an attorney? I'm from the law, and they'll keep on repeating it because they're not an attorneys. And then I always say to them, look, I don't talk to bill collectors. My client should either, so stop harassing them, we'll put this in writing. It's that simple. So to get them off your back, no, the technicality is you were so right. You did not sign a contract with the bill collector. Don't pay them. Worldwide, don't pay bill collectors. You're wasting your money. And then when you come to me to correct your credit, I'm going to get angry because I'm going to say, why did you pay these people? I didn't know. Well, now you know. Pass the word around, and this is the whole thing on education, is knowing your credit rights with it. Years ago, another question here, it says, years ago, a relative was in a New York State prison for 2 years, and he received a credit card while in prison, but even if activated, he could not get out to spend it. Wrong. He can get out to activate it because all he has to do is contact one of his family members to activate it, and then his family could have went on a shopping spree, or a roommate, or a friend. So, but what's interesting enough is he received a credit card in prison, and most of your bill collectors could be calling from prison. some of your bill collectors that harass you are in jail.
Oh yeah, and then that's what's that under that Prisoner Employment Act or something?
Prison Employment
they
Act.
make jeans, they make sneakers, they make everything. Yeah,
And not only that, not only some of the bill collectors are in jail,
they do telemarketing.
but some of the bill collectors are also in India or other countries that you're getting harassed with, and they're saying, you got to pay this bill, you got to pay this bill, and they're calling you from another country, but they're scaring you so much. I don't know who you're paying, but you're paying it. Don't get intimidated. I mean, from a credit card in prison, now come off it. Who would, this was phony right off the bat. Who's going to mail you a credit card besides this company in prison? And at the same time, you can't activate it? Sure you can. Get your relative. I could have activated his card when I walked in here tonight.
Now, one of the things I found interesting about this, and if you're just joining us, this is a credit card that was mailed to me today. This is a legitimate credit card. It's not one of those cardboard things that you tear up and then activate. It says I have a $5,000 line of credit with Citibank. Never solicited, never asked for it. Says nothing in here about that I have to send a social security number or fill out a form, nothing. Just call this number and activate it. Now, if you were here, it was a comedy. It was a comedy between Pearl and myself, and we had what, four people online, and nobody. The last one was probably a wait for the last minute. Yeah, Ron.
I have a question on this.
Well,
since you never applied for the card
right.
and you never solicited it,
Right.
that means that I'm just playing the devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
Could someone have solicited it for you and had it sent to your home?
No, only the
And-
credit bureaus.
It would okay, because I was going to say,
Telemarketing.
That's
could this
sort of
come
some type of
up on-
harassment where somebody would call, hey, send him a bunch of credit cards.
No.
Yeah,
No.
or could this appear on his credit report?
No, it doesn't work that way. What it works is the credit bureaus have a telemarketing as well. This is where you're getting your name. Is it wrong? I think it's wrong. It's legal, but it's wrong. It's a telemarketing to the credit bureaus, and they're supplying these companies with people 700, 800 scores. Now, if you have an 800 score, most likely you're getting these cards, or a 700 score, you're getting these cards because you're getting solicited. It's up to you to tear it up or call them back to say, how dare you do this to me. A lot of people won't do it, what he just did today. A lot of people will keep it. They think it's a credit card, it's the holidays are coming, and this is what they want. They do this only during the Christmas holidays, especially. It could be any holidays, but they want him to spend it.
Now, here's the other danger. The envelope that this came in, Pearl, of course, this is the way it was, hold it. You can feel that
Yes,
there's
the credit
something
card.
stiff in
Yes.
here.
Yes.
The card, the envelope, ladies and gentlemen, is an anonymous, made out to me at this address where I reside, but it has a P.O. box from Arizona on it.
Unbelievable.
So you don't know where this thing, where the letter originated from. You must remember that the crooks, the swindlers, the cretins in society are familiar with all of them. They know by feeling this thing that there is
I know. If
that
I
there's
came
a
in
credit,
here, I
even
would
though
know.
even though there's no information on
No.
the envelope
No.
that mailed this thing out, you know that there's something in here, and I suspected it as soon as I felt it. So it's not a question that, well, Jesus, no, they're so proud that it's Citibank, they
Yes.
didn't even put their name as a return address on it. So take that, Citibank.
You know, again, I'm going to repeat your exception to the rule because there's many people out there that would and love this card during the holiday season because of the credit crunch.
And it's an ego trip. Gee,
Yes.
the credit card likes me. They gave me $5,000 line of credit.
It's like the
They don't
casino,
even
as
know
you
me.
just said
That's
it.
right.
They gave me 50,000. I'm a big time gambler. But you really aren't. You're getting yourself in problems even with this. I mean, I deal with the people and the clients after the fact, after you get tons and tons of these and can't pay and they're all charged off to get you back in good credit. That's where I deal. That's where I come in at. But this is where it starts, and this is so perfect. This is where it starts.
Now, there's another thing I want to introduce tonight, and I don't know whether it's still a practice or not, Pearl, but since Pearl was in the collection, the credit business, she knows what she's talking about. I went to a hospital. I won't mention a hospital, but it's a Philadelphia hospital. The hospital at that time did not have a particular piece of equipment that they had to examine me on, but it was located in another place. So I had to be transported from the hospital to this other location, which is about a half a mile.
Okay.
Now, I walked into the hospital to have the test taken. My car was in the parking lot. I could have driven over to that place. Hospital said, no, you must go over by ambulance or they won't accept you, and you must be brought back. I said, I can drive my own car. What am I? I'm not. No. So I said, okay. I laid down, did the thing, went over to got the test taken, driven back, got in the car and drove home. About 3 weeks later, I get a bill for $468 for ambulance service. And me, like a dope, I'm ready to pay it. You know, and my son said to me, "What's this, Pop?" I said, "It's a bill for $468 from the." He said, "Who ordered the ambulance?" I said, "The hospital did." He said, "Well, they paid for it." I said, "What?" Now, this ambulance company was from Texas.
They're independent.
It's an independent tax that probably is all over the country.
Yes.
And what happened was the hospital would pay them for the reimbursement because they ordered the ambulance, not me.
Yeah.
And since I didn't order it, I didn't know it. I was ready to pay. So I said, if I would have mailed them $468 for that ambulance, and the hospital paid them, they'd have got a double dip on it.
Not only a double dip, and I see, as I'm a credit expert.
Now, I don't know whether they do that now or not.
Yes, they do. Matter of fact, with my own company, there was a health insurance company, major health insurance company. They mailed me a second bill, and I contacted them back and I said, I just paid this 3 weeks ago. And they said, oh, it's our mistake. I said, but if I was a senior citizen that was on the verge of Alzheimer's, I'd be paying this again. And they're doing this to many, and people we know as senior citizens, they just get a bill and they want to pay it. They don't want any credit. They want to do everything. And it's just wrong what these companies are doing. It's the people that they're hiring, but they're not doing their homework. They're not getting educated on how to answer the phone, who's sending out these bills. And all this is the credit crunch. Senior citizens are going to lose out because they're not reading. They're only assuming the whole world's correct, and they're not. And that's the sad part with it.
To the next chat room, Pearl.
Pearl, can you sue those credit card companies for looking at your credit without your approval? For that matter, anyone who accesses your report. Yes. I'm glad. Good question, because anybody that inquires on your credit report. This is why I always say it's important to look at your credit report every 6 months. I used to say a year, but not what's going on today. Every 6 months, and not just look at your credit report, but look at the inquiries on the bottom. Now, if you gave, including myself, if I looked inside your report without your permission, I can get sued. How I can get sued? By the Federal Trade Commission. You report it. There's many things you can do. Credit card companies now, unless it says on your credit report, and some of it does, for promotional only, for promotion, this is where the credit bureaus now are giving the telemarketing to the credit card companies. Now it's up to you to write to those credit bureaus or the credit card companies to say, take my name off your list, and I do not want any promotions like this, because this could get you in danger too. No one has access to your credit report without your permission. If you go to a car, we did a show on this one time right here. I said, if you want to shop for a car on a Monday and you went to 7 car places and they all took your social security number, you have 7 inquiries, and your credit score went down too, by the way. But you have 7 inquiries on your credit report at that time. Is it legal? Yes, it's legal because you gave out your social security numbers. Did you buy a car? No, and you probably will not be able to buy a car because your credit score is so low. So education is so important. I mean, I can help you raise your credit score. I can help you correct your credit, but you're only going to get into trouble again when I'm finished with you because of lack of knowledge. And I don't mind helping people. I charge a fee for what I do, but it's also the education and teaching you what to do, what not to do. It's so important.
That toll-free number for Pearl Polto, ladies and gentlemen, is 1-800-876-CRED. That's 1-800-876-CRED. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time when I must make certain statements. And because of the controversy of this program, not necessarily when Pearl is here, but on a program I do myself, and the visibility of me in the television and radio commercial market in Philadelphia and the surrounding areas, and the visibility of my son Ron, someone is playing games with my son's name and my name. This is a warning to anyone who tries to create a false image of who produces this program, where the content of this program comes from, and who's responsible for it. So I can only give fair warning over this program right now. Anyone making any remarks about who produces this program, Ron Homer, he produces no other program in the Delaware Valley, in the country, anywhere. This is the only program that he produces. Anyone trying to claim that he produces their program, affiliated with any other program, or anything of that nature will be come upon by the full force of the law. And I can only warn you that when I turn the lawyers that I know loose, you would rather walk on chopped glass or get audited by the IRS. So that is a fair warning to those of you who think it's funny to put things on your website, to put things on your email. Just don't do it. I'm not a vindictive person, but I'll tell you one thing that a person said to me once when I went after them. They said, when you die, Irv, they better bury your head in Pittsburgh and your body in Philadelphia, because if the two corpses ever get together, there's going to be hell to pay in heaven. I'm Irv Homer. Till the next time.